Come on, Kuhan. My heart is silent. La 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 la.
Bros, it's recording.
Oh my god.
Alright! Cool! Alright, stop, yeah.
Yeah, but hello and welcome back, guys. Today we are here with
Nico.
Hauser
Lewis!
and me, Kuhan.
And today we're gonna talk about Flame! Alright! Beautiful, alright.
Okay, guys. Have any of you watched this movie at all?
Yeah, I watched it like 5 years ago, man.
6 years lah.
Definitely no. During that time, I was just 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that makes sense.
Wow.
This
Still enjoying childhood though, I think, I guess, yeah?
Wow. So, Flip from 2010 is an American romantic comedy drama film directed by Rob Reiner, who is also the director behind the film Stand By Me.
Wow, that's an amazing film. That is one amazing film.
The film is based on Madeline Van Dranen's novel of the same name, and the main character, Bryce, is played by Kellen McAuliffe.
Wait,
And
aren't there two main characters in the movie, the girl and the boy? Because both of them are like
that's
equally portrayed.
there's still the other main character, who is Julie, who is played by Madeline Carroll.
She's talented, bro.
Yeah.
Amazing. She's
Young
amazing.
actors to the industry is extremely important. Okay, come on.
Sound like a pedophile, bro.
What the heck?
Alright, go on.
Okay, so it received a 7.7 out of 10 rating out of IMDb and 55% out of Rotten Tomatoes.
Surprising how Godzilla 2 King of Monsters is just rated like about 6.5, I guess. 6.5 by IMDb. My mistake there. So,
Yeah, it's worse than a romantic show.
alright.
It's received a mix of reviews and grossed $1.3 million on a budget of $40 million. So they earn quite much from it.
Wow.
Yeah, the movie is great. I think it's worth a watch.
Worth to watch. Yeah, I'll definitely.
Yes, and
Definitely.
now
It's
we're
worth
doing a
watch.
film review of that movie 9 years later, since the movie was aired in 2010, and now it's
Yeah,
2019. And now we're going to talk about our views on the movie and how it affects the new timeline, because 2009 to 2010, that's about 9 years
Yeah,
gap.
9 years
And then is it still relevant for like teenagers these days? Can they like implement what they see in this movie in their daily life? Okay, let's get to it.
Alright, so before that, we will have Mr. Tawich here that will give you an insight on the summary of the movie.
So for the plot, the storyline is not boring yet is easy to follow. The scenes were not draggy and it was all nicely paced. It starts with a boy, Bryce Lowski, moving into a new home when he was 7. Bryce and his new neighbor, Julie Baker, first meet when Julie wants to help him with his stuff, but he sees her as annoying. For Julie though, she thought she had met the love of her life. So they go to the same school, and Julie is always embarrassing Bryce because she publicly shows her feelings towards Bryce. So in 1961, they are both around 12. Bryce tries to get rid of Julie by dating Sherry Stalls, who Julie hates, but then was betrayed by his best friend Garrett. So they broke up, and Julie still continued to like Bryce. The next year, Bryce's grandfather, Chet Duncan, moves in with him. He starts to like Julie very much because it reminds him of his late wife Renee. Julie is seen as an odd girl, mainly because of her obsession with Bryce, but she likes to do things that most 13-year-old girls don't do, like climb trees or keep hens. But Chet tells Bryce that a girl like that doesn't live near everyone. So, well, Bryce, you can say, comes from a wealthy family, but Julie is on the poorer side. The Lovskis, though, like to look down on the Bakers because of their lifestyle and I guess wealth. And in the story, you find that every single adult character has their own backstory, and most of them are, I guess, bad. So this movie does address social issues like trauma, confusion, and mental health, child emotions, and economic status in society.
You know, Bryce, one's character is set at an early age. I'd hate to see you swim out so far you can't swim back.
Sir?
It's about honesty, son. Sometimes a little discomfort in the beginning can save a whole lot of pain down the road.
The story, I guess, points more towards family value direction rather than actual romance. So will Bryce start to like Julie back, or will this only drive them further apart? So in conclusion, the plot is good, although some parts are hanging and left unanswered, but that's normal. So yeah, the plot is good.
So a very big thank you there for Thorish, all the way from Germany, giving me a summary on what the movie is like. Wow,
Yes.
we have to give it a big round of applause, man. So the underlying theme of this movie, which I derived from the movie myself, is probably the transformation of Bryce from a jerk to being someone who actually cares about Julie. Because in his early days, he portrays Julie as a jerk, as a pest to him. Isn't that right?
Yes.
So obvious that he was trying to avoid Julie in every situation, every aspect of his life. But then, upon ditching her, and he started to have a little warm feelings towards her. And at the end of the film, we can see that it is actually proven whereby Bryce ditched the hottest girl, Sherry, in the school. Hottest girl, joking, no jokes, man. Hottest girl for a kiss from Julie, but then obviously
It
he
was rejected.
Embarrassed, man.
Yes.
Man,
What are you doing? Bryce, stop it!
Bryce, you didn't even make it to first base.
Hey, Bryce, I'll kiss you.
So, as we all know, Julie Baker is from a not well-to-do family, while Bryce is the contrast of Julie Baker's life, whereby he lives comfortably, with wealth. But then
It's more rich.
Yeah, it's more rich, exactly. But then the love in Julie Baker's family can outperform the love in Bryce's family. Isn't that true, Guhan?
Yes, the amount of love which has been bestowed by the parents to their children in Bryce's family is extremely minute compared to those in Julie's family, because as we all know, as the parents, if they are not too materialistic, they spend more time with their children, and therefore they can improve the quality time between them, and therefore increasing the love between family members.
Yeah, so as we all see that wealth is not always the way to, building up a beautiful and strong, lovely family relationships.
Yeah.
Right, Nico. So it's amazing how this movie portrays the
Family love.
yeah.
So in one scene which is a part of the scene, Julie's father take care of his
Disabled uncle.
yeah, disabled, mentally retarded uncle.
which shows that he cares about his family.
Yeah, it's true.
Basically, we have many touching parts in the scene in this movie that show we not necessarily have to be wealthy to carry out a very good relationship with our family's member. That's a very educational part.
Yeah, exactly. Nailed it, bro.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Come on, man.
Alright.
That's so true. Okay, as you were saying, Julie's father has a
Disabled uncle.
disabled
Yeah.
Or
brother.
retarded.
Yeah,
so
and
mentally
then
retarded.
that scene when I saw it, he wasn't in the movie. It wasn't a lot in the movie, but then when they portrayed him in that specific scene, I think that was a really heart-touching moment, because you can feel the problems faced by Julie's family. However, they do not take it as a serious problem.
The compassion of the
Yeah.
father towards his brother. The
Yeah.
promise he made to his family before they left him. Wow.
Yeah, that is very
Blows away.
heartbreaking moment. And there's this scene where his brother goes to the ice cream shop. Julie's father brings his brother to the ice cream shop, and then once his
He lost control.
yes, his ice cream fell on the floor and the brother lost control.
True.
At the same time, Julie's father, he was composed at the moment and did not overreact. For example, there were a lot of people in the how you say, the ice cream shop, but however he did not feel ashamed. He just felt love and compassion for his brother, and this is proven by the fact that he buys another ice cream cone for his brother.
So Julie's father is not getting any advantage from taking care of his brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not really getting any advantage, but then as a brother, this is what we should do for our brothers.
Yeah.
Yes, and moreover, he did make a promise, and we should never break a promise, which is also a lesson that small children can learn from this movie, and therefore adults should promote small children to watch this movie. Okay, now moving on. Wait, now I will say about cross-cutting, which is basically the transition between these two main characters, which are Bryce and Julie. Okay, the character now, how we say correctly? How we say like correctly with a good timing?
It's on time, everything is perfectly executed.
Perfectly executed the transition between both of these characters, so they have like almost equal screen time.
This thing, right?
Okay.
Oh, no, you just continue. I'll just cut it down.
Okay, go on, let's go.
Okay, so guys, now basically we are going to the second cinematic technique which has been implemented by the director in this movie. So moving on, we have the technique called cutout, which is basically when the director transitions two scenes from two different characters equally and perfectly on time. So for example, as we know, there are two main characters in this film, which is Julie and Bryce, and the director basically what he does is he transition these two perspectives from Julie and Bryce
So that their characters are perfectly executed with almost the same screen
yeah,
time,
so they have the almost the same screen time, so nobody will take more or less. However, at the ending of this film, they didn't show like whose perspective was that going on, because as Bryce and Julie were together and they were like planting the baby sycamore tree, there was like
kind of left me in an suspense, to be honest. Like, what would Julie think and what would Bryce think?
Yeah.
You know, how would
So
their
finally,
relationship turn out?
they combine both of their perspective together when they plant the sycamore tree together. So that's like a very good technique which has been used by the director in this movie, and moreover the technique suspense. Like for example, during the ending of this movie, how we say, Bryce digs a hole in the garden of Julie, and basically Julie doesn't know what he's gonna do, because she didn't talk to Bryce after she rejected a kiss from him. Okay, then so Bryce, who with Julie's father's acknowledgement, digs a hole in front of her garden, which she, by the way, planted and weeded by herself, continues digging the hole until Julie comes out of the house and tries to talk to Bryce about it. However, Bryce then brings a sycamore tree which is then planted out of this house, and which changes Julie's mood.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because Julie,
because she was actually missing the tree, right?
Yeah, and she was very heartbroken. And when she saw that Bryce was planting the tree which was cut down and like her dream tree,
like Bryce is replacing the hole missing in her heart, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
He's filling up the gap in her heart. So this brings us to the main title of this film called Flame. And what it basically says is that, first of all, since Julie and Bryce were in different opinions, for example, Julie was into Bryce and Bryce wasn't into Julie, And then at the end of the movie, Bryce was into Julie and Julie wasn't into Bryce. That is why the director called the movie Flipped. But however, in the final scene of the movie, both of them got together, and however they managed to like consult their feelings against one another. And this is proven by the fact that Julie touches Bryce's hand when they are like gardening and planting the sycamore tree.
And smiling to each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's perfectly executed.
So I guess
by
when
the
they flip their coins, both land on heads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Conclusion, yeah!
So in a nutshell, the 90 minutes long movie is quite touching and effective in reminding people of how simple the love can be. We should not overthink to decide whether or not to love about the other people. Just be brave to show your love to somebody that you really care about.
That's true.
That's true.
Yes.
Somebody we care about.
Because at the end, you'll find that you are actually wasting a lot of time to guess what others are thinking about you. Mostly the relations are just simple. Both sides have a feeling we love each other, but we do not brave to speak out. So for too many of us, wasting our precious years of carefree, wrinkle-free crushing by keeping it a secret. We hide that crush like a stain, bury it like stolen goods, throwing it into the long grass in the desperate hope that nobody will notice. Part of the reason, of course, is fear of rejection. We are horrified by the idea that if we show someone the soft underbelly of our feelings, that we will immediately dance across them in hope-nailed woods.
Yeah.
Worse, that they will hurt us for it. That we will repulse, dismay, or alienate someone simply by telling them that we like them. Well, if you love someone, there is no possible harm in saying so. Only you must remember that some people are very shy, and sometimes the saying must take the shyness into consideration. Nobody but a psychopath will feel anything but pleased to hear that someone finds them attractive. Approach it in the right way with respect, understanding, and casual sincerity, and they will be at best be pleased, at worst surprised. And the other education point of this story is also we should love our family members much. I think that's the more important thing over love between guy and girl. So guys, please get something from this movie and learn how to love the other. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Beautiful.
Nico,
Wow.
for wrapping up the movie for us. And now, guys, how much would you rate the movie from 1 to 10 based on your perspective, based on what you've seen in the movie, based on what the directors have done to the film to make it stand out from the others? Nico, how much would you rate it?
I will rate it 8 over 10.
Wow, that's a nice mark.
I'll give it a 7 since it's kind of a typical love romantic
Yes.
movie.
Taking in account the underlying theme of family love, love and deceit, transformation, I would give it no less than a 7.5.
Yes, and I would give the movie about 8.5. And
8.5. Wow, that's
maybe,
high.
maybe some people overlook the type of messages which are being conveyed in the movie because it's more discreet. And then if we can't like detect the discrete values from the movie, like the discrete techniques used in the movie, then we couldn't be able to identify what we are watching, and therefore we might not give the movie a nice review. Okay, however, all of us agree that this movie is a nice movie,
Yeah.
and therefore you as parents or
Teenagers,
teenagers, students can definitely watch this movie. It will definitely give you some nice moral values in your life.
Yeah, definitely.
To appreciate more about the ones which we are surrounded by.
Yes, our loved ones.
So we encourage you guys to watch this movie. Just imagine and put yourself in the same situation of the movie characters, then you will learn very much from the movie.
Alright guys, that wraps up for our movie review. Don't forget to subscribe, like,
ring the notification bell.
Yeah, and push that follow button in my Instagram down below in the description.
All of our Instagram will be down in the link
Yeah.
below. Don't forget to follow us, guys.
It's a dope account, dope account.
Plus, if you have any of the friends who are lack of love, ask them to come and view this film review and share the movie to the others.
Alright,
Yeah.
till next time. Bye.
This picture, guys.
This